I have got to say thank you to you for turning a boring movie night into action all the time with all your great movies.
Thank you. I hope that you enjoy this one as much as the best of the old ones.
Well, I heard this is a passionate film. This is something you really wanted to make.
You know, I tell you, I was always in love with the dogfight genre movie, which used to be a staple in Hollywood. But about 40 years ago, Hollywood gave up on it, said, well, no one wants to see that anymore. Well, you know what? Up until a few years ago, Hollywood thought no one wanted to see a pirate movie anymore. And luckily, someone made a good one. And hopefully, people will think that we've made a good one here. And maybe we can shine a light on these heroes that have been long forgotten.
Well, there was a very early movie, and I think it was one of the first big epics, was a movie called Wings, wasn't it, Dean?
The very first movie to ever win the Academy Award was called Wings, and it was a dogfight film. And in fact, the director and I were in this very theater 2.5 years ago watching it.
So that's where the idea came from.
Well, it was part of it. It was part of the inspiration. But really, you know, Tony has been an enthusiast about World War I dogfighting his whole life. He had the largest collection of books in the world on the subject matter. Yeah. So when I first got the script, he was the first person I thought to talk to about it. Right. And after one phone conversation, I sent him a script with a little note saying, Tony, this is the movie you were born to direct. And I think he bore me out.
Now, I understand there's a lot of green screen in this, but you use a lot of the old replica planes. Is that correct?
We had 22 real airplanes that could fly. We shot 3.5 months with them with helicopters and all kinds of augmentation. Then, in addition to that, we had 850 digital effect shots. Now, to give a perspective on that, that's about twice as many as we had in Independence Day. So it's really 6 amazing, spectacular battles.
And I saw this one clip, and the guy is falling out of the plane. They didn't have chutes back then.
That's right. In those days, they actually felt that the airplanes were more valuable than the pilots, so they refused to give them parachutes because they were frightened they might bail out of the planes too early.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, the airplane had only been invented 10 years earlier, and yet 100,000 planes flew in World War I, an astonishing number.
Now, what's a couple of little key things you're going to do to get this young hip-hop audience now to come into the movie theaters and see this?
Well, you know, we're not a major studio. You know, we're not coming out from a giant corporation that can reach out to its television and everything else. So instead of trying to pander to an audience and pretend we're something we're not, we're just selling the movie we made, and we hope people will come and embrace it of all ages.
That's good. That's good. I think people are really going to like this movie because it's got a lot of great adventure. It's a wonderful story. People are going to love it. Last question is, I want to talk to you about Stargate. So what's happening with that? I heard it's going to be back-to-back maybe. What's happening? Well,
we don't know, but there's a brand new regime at MGM, and I've just signed a new deal there. And really, for the first time in 12 years, they're open to the idea of discussing finally doing parts 2 and 3, which Roland and I had wanted to do from day one. So our fingers are crossed. There's nothing set in stone yet, but we're hoping it can happen.
Yeah, we were watching that the other night. I just love that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's really great. Well, continued success. I think you hit another home run tonight.
From your mouth to the accountant's ear.